go. That guy in the upper right there, that was me. In 2010, I was 225 pounds. I really didn't like myself much, but that was, fake smiles and everything else that I would put on. So to start this off, like I said, I got a little script here, so just please bear with me. It is said that 80% of all new businesses will fail upon startup. And author Seth Godin tells us that the person who fails the most wins. And if you haven't done anything, or if you've never failed at anything, then you haven't done anything. I don't know about you guys, but about 3/4 of my life have revolved around failures. It seemed like no matter what I tried to do, no matter what I tried to how hard I work at something, try to do something, failure always seemed to be there to challenge me. One of the most challenging times in my life was in November of 1996. It was the year that my son Zachary was born. I was 22 years old. I was not married. I didn't have a clue on how to take care of myself, much less take care of a child. And I just actually started a new career as an electrician. Things between my son's mom and I were not good. In fact, they were absolutely horrible. And the stress between a young couple without a path of direction increased arguments, which then led to a lot of fighting. The stress of working 16-hour shifts with my new job, sometimes 6 days a week, in a not-so-pleasant environment of construction actually was starting to weigh really heavy on me. Then the stress of having my child, who wasn't even a year old yet, he was taken from me by his mom. Sorry. That almost killed me. But in 2004, I had married the love of my life. She was the most compassionate and caring person that any man could ever wish for. And together we bought our first home, and we owned our first dog. And we continue to fight for a father's right to see his child. But for the next 6 years, that stress started to compound on me. Trying to balance home, work, life, courts, lawyers, finances. There was so much stress in my life that a doctor told me that if I continued down this path, I'd actually have a heart attack before I was the age of 40. That guy, right there. It was now 2010. I was weighing in at 225 pounds. I was depressed. I hated my life. I hated what I was becoming. I was angry at how my body looked and how I felt. I was always getting sick. If everybody felt that way, but I was always getting sick. My mom actually told me that I was the healthiest sick guy that she ever knew. Anger settled, so it started to settle in my bones. So much so that every morning when I woke up, there was a shooting pain actually going down my back and into my legs. It was actually so bad that in the mornings I'd be hunched over, wincing as I'd walk. And seeing this, my coworkers actually proudly gave me the nickname the Old Man. I guess they found humor in seeing a 35-year-old walking around like he was 90. I really wasn't laughing, though. And negativity and anger started to become very commonplace with me, especially at home. And one night when I was sitting at home and I was watching TV and feeling sorry for myself again, a man in a commercial came on. A commercial that later, little did I know, would change the rest of my life. And that commercial was P90X, and that man was Tony Horton. Right then and there, I said to myself, I want that. I wanted that fire, I wanted that energy, I wanted the passion that this guy was giving out. I wanted it all, and I was going to have it. So, after obtaining my completely legal burn copy, completely legal, of P90X from a friend of mine, I started to clear out all the crap food from our pantry with my wife's okay, of course. And I dove right into those workouts. And after a few weeks and plenty of days where getting off of a toilet felt like a challenge in itself, I started to notice something different. I wasn't feeling the pain anymore. After completing my first round, I was down 20 pounds, feeling pretty good, actually. Then another 20 went after my second round. I felt actually so good, I decided to take up running again. something that I actually enjoy to do a lot, but I really wasn't good at it. And before P90X, I was able to run about a mile, and then I'd have to stop and take a breath, and I was hurting at that point. But then after P90X, running felt pretty easy. So on a dare from my father, I signed up for my first triathlon. Yeah. Not only did I compete and finish that triathlon, but I finished third in my age group, and I received a medal. That inspired me to take some new action. I wanted everybody and anybody to know about this fountain of youth in which I had found. I was actually driving around and passing out burned copies of P90X to everybody and anybody that I knew. I was going to people's homes and talking to them. It was crazy. I was telling them about this workout that changed my life and how great I felt. And I felt reborn. And a friend of mine, hearing about my accomplishments on Facebook, been friends with her for 30 years, Wendy Martin. Please stand up, Wendy. Woo! I love you, girl. Love you. Wendy is an avid workout enthusiast. She's an encyclopedia of nutrition. She is a plethora of fitness knowledge, and quite honestly, one whose biceps I've been jealous of since the 8th grade. She reached out to me to share an opportunity that has given me something that I have lost in my life for a very, very long time. And that's hope. Hope for a better life, a better future for my wife, my child, and for myself. This amazing woman has been not only my friend, but she's been my classmate, and now she's my coach and business partner. Because of Beachbody and personal development, my negativities and doubts, fears of making mistakes has been replaced with positive thoughts and positive actions. Thoughts and actions that my wife and I can now pass on to our daughter. That right there is my why. And like Johann Ernst states, the biggest mistake we can do in life is not daring to do mistakes. So thank you, Beachbody, for your teachings and leadership. And thank you, Wendy, for sharing me this opportunity that has changed my life completely. Thank you, Paul and Nissan, for allowing me to share my story. And thank you to my loving wife, Marcy, for always having my back, always standing by my side, through every mistake that I have ever made, and for every failure that I'm going to continue to do. Thank you, everybody.
That was awesome. I mean, he went up there saying, "I'm not a speaker." Well, you should be. I mean, even had like the pauses.